In this video I'm going to share with you one of the biggest mistakes I made in my property business that cost me over £100,000, and hopefully by sharing this with you I will encourage you not to make the same mistakes, and I'll give you the thing that I did actually do right, because obviously I've done some things wrong but I've done some things right. The thing I did do right that will help you accelerate your property business, whether you're starting up or scaling up. This is the single most powerful thing you can do to get to a 10k month the fastest. So I'm a Harvard remote property investor, and I'd done 5 deals in my first 5 years, and I was struggling to know what to do. Then I got some education, I paid and invested in myself. I then started doing BRR, buy-to-lets, mainly single-let properties. I started doing them remotely in the north of England, and I started deal sourcing alongside that and documenting my journey on social media. This then allowed me to go from 5 deals in 5 years to doing nearly 50 deals in 2 years. But before you celebrate with me, it all went dramatically wrong after that 2-year period. And this is why, because I tried spinning too many plates. I tried opening too many businesses. I had some moderate success with my deal sourcing and building my own portfolio, and it kind of went to my head. And as a result, I tried opening up 2 other businesses at the same time as running my deal sourcing business and build my own portfolio. But before we get into this, make sure you smash that like button. And if you want to see what I was doing correctly before it fell down around me, which was the BRR, have a look at this video. In this property, will show it's a really current deal. It's a BRR deal still working in this current market. So when I was going around to network events, I heard this a lot. You might have heard this yourself. Put in the comments if you heard this. You need multiple streams of income to be wealthy. I still stand by that, but you have to set this up in a way. I remember going to multiple streams of property income, and they said you should use a 70-20-10 strategy, where 70% of your energy should be going on your main strategy, 20% on a secondary one, and 10% on a third. And I thought that makes sense, but I thought I was special. I thought I was Richard Branson. The success I had from buying around 50 properties in around a 2-year period made me think I was bulletproof. And sometimes your current success can be your ultimate biggest threat to your future success. So the idea of what I was trying to do, make multiple streams of income from multiple businesses, which I do to this day, by the way, was the right idea but executed at the wrong time. And one of the big mistakes I made was I'd done some training with a trainer, which it left me with a bit of a bad taste. Cost me probably around 10k. Didn't quite get what I was expecting to get from it. And I remember reading books at the time thinking, I don't need a coach or a trainer because all the information's in books, which a lot of information is in books. But what you don't get from a book is the accountability, the structure, the telling you to do this now, that now. Look, if you're Messi and one of the best football players of all time, arguably, and you try to strike the ball when you're in your own 6-yard box, no matter how good you are, you're not going to score. So you have to strike the ball when you're in front of the goal, or relatively close to the goal. So this is what I mean by doing the right thing at the right time. So I was doing the right things, trying to open up different streams of income, but I was doing them at the wrong time in my journey for where I was at in my journey at the time. I didn't have the skill, the infrastructure, the foundational systems to be able to deliver this. The 2 businesses I tried opening up was very operationally drag businesses, come with a lot of operational drag, and that was a lettings business and a refurbishment building company. So I partnered with a builder, which I thought would be, I bring the business side of it, he brings the building side of it. I had loads of clients because of the deal sourcing business, and it kind of made sense. And similar again with the lettings, it made sense because we was getting loads of investors buying them properties, and ultimately we started letting them and managing them for them. But what ended up happening as a result, I didn't have quite, as I said, the infrastructure, the management skills to open 2 businesses at the same time. If I opened one of them independently, once I got the deal sourcing running where it was into a better place than it was, it would have been fine. But I didn't follow that 70-20-10 strategy where I'd got the 70, which is the deal sourcing, into a place where I could then focus on the other ones. And what happened is, because I was spreading my focus to other projects, it was taking it away from the deal sourcing that was earning me the most money. And then the refurbishment stuff, the refurb estimates was coming in wrong, so I was having to top that up, losing money from that. Then the lettings, we wasn't letting correctly, and then I was recompensating the investors that we'd bought from, either compensating them with their fees or compensating to sort the problems out that we was making. And what happened was, I was sourcing so many properties, it was just compounding the problem. So the more properties I sourced, the more problems I had, because I had a building company that wasn't quite structured correctly. We couldn't do the estimates of the refurbs correctly, we didn't do the programs of work correctly, and we was underestimating. I was relying on somebody else to just estimate them for me, and was underestimating the prices, which I was then topping up the difference because his partner didn't have the difference to do that. He was leaving silly things off like rubbish clearance. He was coming to me saying, I forgot to put the rubbish clearance on here. And then with the lettings as well, tried setting up a team. I didn't run it for myself from day one. I bought into the 4-hour work week and said, okay, book the 4-hour work week book, and said, let's outsource everything. But outsourcing is one thing, and I got them the method of systems, so I wrote down loads of bullet points of what to do, how to do it, and I kind of knew what to do, but I didn't know how to manage that into existence, basically. So as a result, the lettings company started losing about 20 to 30k per year for about 4 years straight. It took me all the way up to 2022 to be able to get out of this mess, really. So how I climbed out of this mess was I had 2 years of no mentor, just reading books, as I said, and I had to humble myself. So I went and got a mentor, and funny enough, this mentor that I got wasn't nowhere near as experienced in property as the previous training that I got, which I spent nearly 10k on, which I come away disappointed from. But the difference was the previous training was a deep dive 2-week training, and it was good training, by the way. What it did was left me with loads of information without support, like execute that information. In today's world, the information is not what's valuable. The execution of that information, the accountability, the support, the validation of that information is what's valuable. So at a time when I was in a massive financial hole, I went off and got a mentor. So when you pay attention. I went and got 10k overdraft, and I paid £350 per hour and £250 to join a monthly mastermind. So I had fortnightly calls at £350 an hour and a monthly mastermind. And this guy didn't tell me anything that I hadn't learned from the previous books, what I hadn't learned from that previous training that I spent nearly 10k on. But what happened was he gave me the accountability, the structure, the validation, told me not to do these things, helped me get ordered in my team, restructure the team, hire correctly, and got me back on track. And this is in 2019, and it took me 2019, 2020 to really start settling it again, and then we hit COVID. But as I say, you either earn or you learn. So what I'd learned from this helped me navigate COVID much more better than I believe if I was just successful at that point. In fact, COVID might have folded me without the skills I'd learned from navigating through them difficult times. So during COVID, I launched my online coaching program to counterbalance the potential sourcing, the drop of business in sourcing and lettings. We balanced the lettings business throughout that time. I've got a massive love. I think the purpose of living is find something you enjoy doing and monetize it. And I absolutely love coaching people. So I decided I'm going to make that my front runner. I ended up selling the business in 2022, but I sold the business to another company that folded my business into theirs. So Growth Lettings was gone. Growth Refurbishment I stopped anyway, way before that. We run that for about probably 9 months, and we just stopped on that. Fell out with the builder, like he felt resentful to me that I said we can't do this anymore, but we kept on coming in under price. I kept on topping it up. And yeah, it's just one of those things. Growth Lettings, I sold to Brooklyn's Estate. Matty, who's my new partner, he bought the company and my sourcing element of that, and he folded it into Brooklyn's Estate and gave me 20% plus a cash figure, which I'm not going to disclose for privacy reasons, but it was a 6-figure exit that recovered the 20-30k per year that I was losing, and I learned a lot. Had I just focused on deal sourcing, I would have had a portfolio that was triple the size. My portfolio is about 3.5 million. And as I said, it took me from doing 50 properties in around 2 years to doing about 5 to 10 properties in the next 2 years, and not buying for myself again until 2021 to dig myself out of this mess. It was a mess that was a bit more complex than just saying I didn't want to do it anymore, because I bought these properties for investors, told them I was going to manage them. So it wasn't as straightforward as just saying, I don't want to do this for you anymore. Although I think that in hindsight, I should have made this decision a little bit early on. But hey ho, as I said, you either earn or you learn. So when you start a business, make sure the business is settled before you try spinning too many other plates. The 70-20-10 strategy is really, really good. Every time I've stuck to that, my businesses have grown. I've got multiple streams of income. So now I've got a lettings business, a sourcing business, which runs without me, because it's in the right position to be able to do that. I've also got my training business. We've got a marketing business that I've got a partner in, as well as my portfolio. So I've got these multiple streams of income, but they took a lot longer to get than I anticipated. I tried doing these in a compressed period of time of about 2 years, and it was too fast. So my advice to you is, you've got to ask yourself the question, if I went on holiday for a year, would the business still be there without me? My sourcing business, or whatever business that is. I advise you to start with a sourcing business, an active income business, which is a service-based business, not lettings. Lettings is a service-based business, but really difficult. A lot of operational drag on that business. So start with something like sourcing if you want to be in the property space. And make sure you settle a team correctly. A big mistake I see what people do is they hire staff and they jump away from it too quick. It takes a year to 18 months to embed staff to make sure they're the right fit. both ways. You need to see if you're the right fit for them and they're the right fit for you. If you leave them too early, what happens is they end up having resentment for you, thinking that they're running the business for you. And in a business like sourcing, they'll either set up and run a business as competitor against you, or they just think, I don't want this stress while you're off doing what you're doing without me. So make sure they're settled first. And again, you don't know if they're going to like, you might have a really great employee, but they might not be happy in the role, or they might not be trained enough in the role. I've been through a lot of employees, a lot of mistakes. I had some good ones, bad ones. I hired some bad. So the advice is hire slow, fire fast. But the bad ones are hired. And the good ones I hired. I've lost a lot of them because even the good ones, I didn't have the infrastructure in place. It's too stressful for them. And I was like, there's better jobs out there than a load of stress without the benefits that you'd get from a big company. So make sure you do this with patience. I'm not saying completely wait forever, but also make sure the business is settled enough with a team strong enough for you to be able to start focusing on other things. Otherwise, that business you jump away from will start falling around you like it did for me. But hands down, the best business to start is a deal sourcing one. Is least friction in there, highest amount of income from that. If you want to learn how to do a deal sourcing business, make sure you watch this video. And if you're still here, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel. Please share it out if you think somebody will find it useful. My wife's live on my terms. My mission is to help as many people live on their terms, using education as a vehicle to do that. So share it to somebody that you think will find this valuable. And remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you'll never live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live on your own terms. Have an amazing day.